right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, and times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn the part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than, living hopes and dreams. Every boy and girl, higher, higher than, brighter, brighter than, all you wanted. You know you could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted. You know you could.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel Grand Colombia, and welcome to another Coffee Time Live here in Armenia, Colombia. And today I got some pretty good topics, at least for me. As a matter of fact, you might have noticed I started about a minute later than I normally would. Uh-oh, what happened? YouTube, stop. Okay. We're back. YouTube is playing havoc. All right, well, we're going to muddle through. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. You might have noticed I started about a minute later than I typically would. It's because I was so engrossed in one of the topics that I'm going to talk about today that I didn't realize how much time had gone by. When I started looking at it, it was 20 minutes to go. Yeah, I'm buffering, yes. It's because as soon as I started up, I was at excellent with YouTube, and then it dropped to poor almost immediately. What can I do? What can I do? Hopefully it'll clean up. It's the internet here is going strong. I'm about 300. Yeah, about 300. And my CPU is at 3% use. So, I don't know. Rob, no buffering. Well, you're in luck, or you might have blinked. It wasn't very long. It was a short period. And it still hasn't come back completely, so it may be touch and go. It says YouTube. Let's see the video. Let's see. Difficult to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. What can I do? All right, so let's get on with it anyway. I was asked about next Sunday, Christmas Eve. I will be here and because I don't have anything going on, we can go as long as you want to go. And for the weather, right now it's about 75 degrees and overcast. It looks kind of like this, off in the other direction, looking at that building that they're putting up. High today of 78, low of 66. And the Colombian peso, 39.43 to the dollar. Okay. Today I got 5 things to mention that are just basically about me in Armenia here. And then I got some looks like 5 news items. And then we're going to talk about some music. So, first of all, the coffee meeting this last Wednesday. I missed the one before. I got there. There was one other person. It's fine. I was there for coffee anyway. And then this lady come rolling in. Never heard of her before. Never saw her. She didn't know about the channel, but she had heard somewhere that it was for expats. And she was very interesting because she had a very heavy Spanish-speaking accent, but she was born and lived her entire life in the United States. But she lived in New York City with Little Colombia and all that. Her parents from Colombia. So she's living here now, and she's got a store for women, used, what do they call those stores where you got these used old style upscale dresses and they put together outfits that are very classy, but they're 50 years ago. I don't know what vintage, I don't know what you call it, but she's got a store like that. And 2 minutes after she walked in, a gentleman walks in who knew about the channel, but never made contact with me or anybody else. And he just kind of walked in and introduced himself. So it was very interesting. And here's the sick part. So I got there about 11. Everybody hung around for about an hour, hour and a half, except me and the guy who came in late. We ended up there till 6 o'clock in the night talking about, I can't really say politics. We're talking about the state of information in the United States. And I found it fascinating. I really enjoyed it. I think I made him frustrated a few times, but there was that. We stayed away from politics as much as possible. So that was a coffee meeting. I'll be there again this Wednesday. Where is it? This is cool. I got my permanent resident visa. It took 9 days from the time the paperwork was filed. Just blew me away. They sent me this in the email, and I've got my appointment this Thursday to go get my new resident cedula. And left me pretty much broke. You know, the fees doubled, and the resident fee costs more than normal, pension visa and stuff. So, and I got a year left on my cedula, but I have to get the new one because it's a different category. And so there's another chunk of money. So it's good news. Left me devastated. On the other hand, it's done. I don't have to worry about it for 5 years. As a matter of fact, if all goes well, this will be the last visa I ever have to have. So that's pretty cool. What else? Oh, gentleman here, which I can never mention his name. He invited me to go to a jazz club here in Armenia, and I'll let it, I'll pass. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock or something. But thanks anyway. So he went, and I'll show a clip of that later. It has to do with music, but he said that later in the show, after the sets were done, they came out with a presentation. I'm going to show you this, but people ask a lot of questions, and this is something that's been coming up a lot over the last 4 years with me with locals. But here it is. I don't know if you could see that, but his note is, if you want to know where the Armenia's freaks gather, then consider a safe space. This hole in the wall on a dead-end street. This was the entertainment for the second half of the night. They even offered the services of a BDSM mistress for Medellin in case anyone needed to be disciplined. It cracked me up. And they're there tonight if you want to go. But I brought this up because I hadn't given a whole lot of thought, but about 4 years ago, a friend of mine here was asking me if I knew anything about BDSM. Well, yeah, but why? Why do you ask? Well, very curious, and gave me the reasons why. Since then, I've had probably half a dozen people ask me similar, and they all have this common theme. Apparently, the 50 Shades of Grey movie, which is probably the worst representation of BDSM that exists, it's Hollywood. However, because of that movie and how it romanticized, kind of like those vampire movies some years back, it's piqued a lot of interest around Colombia, apparently. And so they've got these clubs, and they've got these traveling shows that come and go. And when I lived in New York, you could go to, in upstate New York, you'd go to these clubs, but you had to be invited. And the weird thing is, you had to actually have a password, or they wouldn't let you in. And you talk about underground stuff. Well, apparently that's kind of rolling through here. So I found it interesting. And what else? Oh, question about Armenia. They don't quite understand what I mean by North Armenia. And I'll go over the chats here in just a moment. I got this in a comment. I'll do the chats, and then we'll get to the news articles. So here's a map. This is a map of Armenia. Montenegro on the left, Galarka on the right. And if you look at the line towards where it says North Armenia, more or less, there's no actual line, but everything to the right and up of that top line is considered to be North Armenia. And you'll see it's rather sparse. Now, the reason it looks raggedy like this, if you zoned in, that's because that's where buildings are amongst all the wilderness. So that little narrow, spotty strip that's considered to be North Armenia is very small as compared to the rest. Then you've got the circle, and that pretty much entails the area that we call Centro or Central. And then the other line, and to the left of it, all of that big glob there is the south part of Armenia. And it may not be the easiest thing to see, but if you were to take the content of the gray of North Armenia, it would fit in the small corner of the content of the gray in the South Armenia. So maybe that'll give you a picture of it. All right, and let's see what else we got. A comment. I got a comment. And this comment is why you should never get your information from Facebook forums. All right. So we got here. After watching your channel, I did a deep dive into retiring there. Evidently, retirees can no longer use the healthcare system and need to have global insurance before they can retire there. I just priced global insurance, and the quote for my husband and me was over $2,500 per month. This totally prices us out of coming there. Well, absolutely. Are you aware of this? I'm aware of the BS that's on the Facebook forums, and I've addressed it. I really enjoy your videos. I've learned so much and want to visit and see if it would be right for us. Is Armenia pet friendly? See, they need to, you regulars know, you need to watch more of these videos. Being pet friendly, I've talked actually a lot about that over the last couple months. There's probably not a pet friendlier place on earth. If you rent an apartment, for example, your dog or cat cannot be excluded, with few exceptions. So the thing with the healthcare, it was totally bogus. In one video a few months ago, I tracked down the source of that false information, but it spread like wildfire. People are still saying it. It's absolutely not true. If you're moving here and you're going to get a retirement visa, you only need enough traveler's insurance to get the visa, which, to be safe, 3 months. And it's not global insurance. You want to just get traveler's insurance. They're not particular about it. All they want to see is the certificate that you have it. And then as soon as you get your visa, which would be in your first month, and you get your cedula, you don't need it anymore. You can go sign up for the insurance here, because they say expats can't get the EPS insurance. Absolutely false, not true. It's a lie. And it originated with somebody on a Medellin who was trying to scare people into buying his services. So get out of the Facebook forums for information. If you want to go in and be insulted and argue with people, that's cool. Then go for it. But do not take your information from there. On top of that, if particularly in the Medellin forums, where you post a comment, you're going to get 70 replies. Half of them are going to lie to you just because they think it's funny. So, okay. So let's see. Did I cover all that? Yes. Let's go back over the, let's see what comments we have. Juka, contribution, thank you very much. Jerry, thank you very much. Anonymous, I don't know who you are, but I certainly appreciate it. I have a $600 video card I got to save for. I got it working today. Hopefully it stays, but it's on its way out. I ran some tests on my equipment. Well, I had some, I saved, but I didn't set it up. Some people were asking about the computer, and I should do this and I should do that. And I ran benchmarks on pretty much everything on my computer. And I screenshot some of them to show the type of system that I have. Like the computer itself comes up in the top 5% of computers as far as the CPU and things like that. So I put together, over the course of a little time, back when that other one shorted out, a really good machine. Problem is, the video cards that you need these days, because they keep upping the requirement as they change the software. I can't get away with the $200 video card anymore. Anyway, what else we have here? Rob, good morning. How you doing, Mr. Fort Lauderdale? Cliff, is that our Cliff? Good morning to all. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you too. Ben Lake, good morning. Howdy. Turtle. Hello, Mr. Turtle. Jerry, you are buffering for me. Should be good now. And YouTube sent me a message saying that we're good. So whatever was going on, apparently it got fixed. Rob, no buffering. Turtle, none here either. You guys were lucky. Owen, audio, video, good now. Awesome. Michael Meyer, good morning from Los Angeles. I lived there once. Tustin, actually. Luz, good morning. Sunday morning, everyone. Hope all the expats living in the city feel at home. Absolutely. For me, it is my home. I may, for a year, at some point, go back to Manizales and then come back here, just to kind of, I don't know. I don't want to live there, but a year or a shorter lease if I can arrange one without it being too expensive. I do love the city. Matt Ski, good morning from Pareda. Howdy, Ben. I've had buffering problems from YouTube for weeks. Yeah, for me, it was just for that short period. I haven't had any issues. No buffering on my end. Bunny, interesting. Bunny, first time. Welcome. Charles, buenos dias. Hi from New York City. Cold here. Wish I was back in Colombia. But hit the 180 days, have to wait till January. Now, the 3 months, it doesn't start and stop in January, I don't believe. I think it's like a rolling thing. So it would be a year from when you entered on the last series. Anyway, Alejandra, hello. Luz, secondhand store. Oh, that's you. Oh, okay, gotcha. This is a lady who came in and surprised us. She was very nice. I think our discussion that me and the other gentleman were having probably drove off the other two. Yeah, but I was really loving it, and I got to speak a lot of English, and it was very cool. Libby, good morning, everybody. How you doing, Libby? Juan, hello from Medellin. Congratulations for the permanent visa. Yes, the 5-year permanent visa, but it'll be the last one because when this one is expiring, I can actually get citizenship, and then it will be done with visas forever. Renee, hi from Brussels. How you doing, Renee? It's nice to see you. What's this? Charles, tip $5. Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. I'll go into the new part, Kitty. Really want to live in Armenia. Unfortunately, fiance won't live Monteria, which is above. Yeah, well, do some visits and visit some key areas. It might change your mind. About 5 hours north, but 80, 90 degrees. Yeah, $5 to you. Thank you very much. Nadik Mark, good morning from Agua Chica. AI or LL, you won't tell me what that is. Do you think 1 month travel health insurance would be enough? I would get 3 just to be safe. I would worry that when it goes in for the visa, they might look at it and say, oh, it's expiring too soon, and not award your visa until you get more. And I think technically they say 3 months, but I knew some people that did it with 2 months and didn't have any problem. I think 1 month, it might definitely be a problem. I wouldn't risk it. Okay. So let me see, get back to the right button here. Let's get on with some news. All right, first news item. There's Christmas lights like crazy all over Armenia, more than by far than I've ever seen before. And some of them have been sponsored by the electric company, which is a bit of a surprise. So what they're finding is that criminals are vandalizing these lights. In a related story, that's how you do it, right? In a related story, a subject was surprised with 18 meters of copper cable and he got arrested. He was actually seen stealing some cable from one of the displays and turned him in, and the police were on him within minutes and nabbed him. You know, people say that the police don't do anything here. They're actually quite active. And while I will readily admit there's a few barrios that the police in there really don't serve their community very well. All the rest of Armenia, the police are pretty good people. And the view that I get from talking to people and talking to police is that they're not really separated. There's somebody's neighbor, because you have to remember, we're really a small city. And so people that are born and raised here, pretty much everybody knows everybody kind of thing. And so the cops, they're not going to treat people like cops typically would do in a lot of places. And people here love and respect the police. You may remember when, for the short time, our wonderful mayor got kicked out under suspicion of corruption, and that woman came in who ultimately turned out to be the one that was corrupt. But she came in, and during COVID is when she was in, and they had that car parade where they had hundreds and hundreds of cars driving through and around Armenia, protesting the closing of businesses, locking people up, but they were in cars. She sent the police out to basically pull people out of their cars, arrest them, have the cars towed. Except the police, they went out there and they posted up, but they went over, talked to the drivers, shook their hands, waved them through. Everybody was laughing and smiling. The police refused to do it. And I loved that moment. It said a lot to me. So anyway, got him red-handed. Now this one's kind of cool. This lady is now the oldest woman in the world. The one previous to her died. Somebody was living in Africa and they died. And what was officially reported was the next oldest person to take the oldest person in line. Turns out it was actually 115 years old. This lady is 122. And her story was kind of interesting. First of all, she was born in 1901. And it's like, that really hit home. You're 122. Yeah, she's old. But then I hear she's born in 1901. It's like, holy crap. I mean, they just started building the Panama Canal. So her life, what she's seen. But they say that she's completely self-sufficient, lives with family like most Colombians, but she dresses herself, she takes her own bath, she goes in the kitchen, she helps cook up all the meals, she goes out and works in the garden. She hasn't slowed down at all. So that's pretty amazing. I'll be lucky if I get another 10 years out of this world. So she did something right. I have anything else to say about her? Nope, that's it. All right, this one, not a lot to say, but I thought I would mention it. This is a bunch of Germans that are well placed in the tourist industry that were invited to come to Condillo, because Condillo has been extremely active in Europe getting people to come. Not so much people, but getting the people that direct people, tourist agencies, things like that, to come to Condillo. They're very active in that. So that's also good to see. And here's a story. 8 municipalities of Condillo now have free internet zones. A couple years ago, one of their goals was to put internet not only in the cities, but also accessible. They want to blanket Condillo with internet access, even out in the farms. And they not only have done a good job with it in the little towns where you'll go to the park. All the parks now have Wi-Fi. But beyond that, they've got internet set up near schools, for example. So there's free Wi-Fi there and some other key areas. But they're also placing the access out in clusters where there's farms around. So you know, tax money better spent there than buying cluster bombs. So that's pretty good. All right, this one cracks me up. All right, the police caught these criminals, and you'll see the cops standing around, and one of the criminals is on the road up against the curb. He's laying on the ground where they put him, and they're doing some other police stuff, and then they're going to go get him and take him away. Well, the hero of the story here is the dog. Check this out. Tell me that wasn't funny. All right, let's see. All right, where's all the chatter in the chat? You get me paranoid, like it froze again, except it says it's going strong. Okay, so let's get to some music. Okay, first of all, I'll show you some clips from that jazz club that I mentioned earlier. About a minute. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's in a house converted for shows like that. I get asked, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it today about, you know, music, is music a thing here? It's like Colombia, of course it is. Music is a huge, huge part of life. In particular, some of the local music, which I will address in a minute. But I mean, everywhere you go, there's street musicians, but there's clubs, and it's just everywhere. And there's lots of places, cafes, things like that, where you could go where there's outdoor seating, and they'll have, and I took a thumbnail of one of them for this video. You'll have people playing music, and you got the backdrop of the Andes Mountains. It's pretty awesome. Was that a police dog? No, that was just a dog, just a neighborhood dog walking around. But I saw that and made me laugh. Okay, so there's argument about this next thing about the music, where it was founded. What we know for sure is it was somewhere in the Paisa region, which is from Medellin all the way to here. That's all Paisa. Paisa does not belong to Medellin, like people there will try to say. Paisa is from Medellin all the way here. And Paisa is kind of like country people. So it's ironic that Medellin's trying to claim it, but they are definitely Paisa in Medellin. And you can tell by their accents. Thank you, Rob. You can tell by their accents because their Spanish is very whiny, which kind of cracks me up. But I've shown some examples in the past here. What do we got here? A deeper than normal 3-car garage size home. Yeah, I thought I knew where that was, and but I wasn't positive. And I didn't look it up, so I wanted to know from you if I was right. And that's what I was thinking. And it's just in a regular neighborhood. Okay, so anyway, this area, developed its own sort of music. It's very similar to some other Colombian style music, but there are differences to it. And the differences to it are marked by certain characteristics that are not as much about the music as about the theme of the music. Now, this music has been out for about 50 years. As a matter of fact, I looked it up. The first recording of this music was December 24th, 1954. And it was recorded by a gentleman named El Mono Gonzalez. But the characteristics of this music, and not always, and there is a musical characteristic too, but the characteristics are, this is working class country folk music. Its lyrics generally have double meaning, double entendre, or downright vulgar. It's always threaded with some sort of humor. It's certainly unpretentious. I'm reading on my own notes here. And to give you an example, here's just some basic song titles that may or may not bring images that you could be mocking, make fun of, vulgar. So we've got The Dentist. We've got, these are song titles: The Dentist, The Gossip, The Shoemaker, Fight with the Devil, The Witch, and The Whorehouse. Those are just some titles. Well, so why do I bring this up? Well, Salento has been a bastion of this sort of music. It's very active. It has a very active community, and it has a number of musicians that play and develop this music. And currently, there is a song that has gone national. It's top of the charts. It's become a very popular song, and also a reminder, kind of a throwback to the music that was really more popular in the 50s and 60s. So it's what we can call it classic country music. And I have an example. So I hope this doesn't bore you to death, but it's just over 3 minutes long, which is a long time. But, I want you to see it. And the other thing is, it was not only done by the group in Salento, but it's also got a lot of video clips of campesinos, farmers in and around Salento. So I think you may also find that interesting. George, thank you. I see contribution. Thank you very much. I got by the time today's done, I'll probably have a 6 of that video card done. Thank you very much. Help the channel, hit the like button. Actually, I'm not monetized, so the like and the comment thing, that's why you never hear me say like, comment, and subscribe, because it doesn't do any good, but I do appreciate it. What does do good is if you share it, that's always good. But I'm here to talk to you guys. I'm not here to try to build the channel to something else, to be perfectly honest with you. There may be a project that I'm doing that I'm still not ready to talk about, but it will be a video channel that's about Colombia, but not specifically about Colombia and living here, but about coffee. And so it's a project I'm currently working on, and I'm working on with some people in Canada, in the United States, and with somebody else here in Colombia. So something may come of that. And if it does, I'll tell you all the detail. Anyway, let's get back to this music. I'm going to play it. I hope you hang through. I actually love this kind of music. You might not. And Rob says the guy sings a little out of key. Yeah, he sings it perfectly. Here you go.
Y esto es para todos nuestros campesinos. Todavía no sale el sol, alisto botas y machete para encaminarme al tajo.
me tomo un tinto en el tabrete. Mi sembrío me hace levantar, soy responsable de la cosecha. A la plaza de mercado acudo, voy a descargar mi recua.
A camellar, mijo.
Arranco loma arriba, me espera el arracachal. Sombrero, poncho y asadón, nos vamos a forcar. Arranco loma arriba, me espera el arracachal. Sombrero, poncho y asadón, nos vamos a forcar. A mucho honor, soy campesino. A la ciudad comparto mi labor. El campo llevo mi destino, el fruto de mi sudor. A mucho honor, soy campesino. A la ciudad comparto mi labor. El campo llevo mi destino, el fruto de mi sudor. Y allá viene la papita, mijo. Todavía no sale el sol, alisto botas y machete para encaminarme al taco. Me tomo un tinto en el tabrete. Mi sembrío me hace levantar, soy responsable de la cosecha. A la plaza de mercado acudo, voy a descargar mi recua. El campo me representa, mis manos labran la tierra, herencia de mis abuelos, paisajes palma de cera. El campo me representa, mis manos labran la tierra, herencia de mis abuelos, paisajes palma de cera. Sobre mi caballo escuchando canciones que en mi radio van sonando. Mi perro fiel que siempre me acompaña, cruzando espesa niebla en la montaña. Sobre mi caballo escuchando canciones que en mi radio van sonando. Mi perro fiel que siempre me acompaña, cruzando espesa niebla en la montaña. Y gózalo con los chamicos de Salento, mijo. Arranco loma arriba, me espera la racachal. Sombrero, poncho y asadón, nos vamos a forcar. Arranco loma arriba, me espera la racachal. Sombrero, poncho y asadón, nos vamos a forcar. A mucho honor, soy campesino. A la ciudad comparto mi labor. El campo llevo mi destino, el fruto de mi sudor. A mucho honor, soy campesino. A la ciudad comparto mi labor. El campo llevo mi destino, el fruto de mi sudor. Soy campesino de profesión, orgullo de mi nación. Soy campesino de profesión, orgullo de mi nación. Soy campesino de profesión, orgullo de mi nación. Soy campesino de profesión, orgullo de mi nación.
Gil, you're exactly right. As a matter of fact, those song titles are mostly from him. So that's true. And the type of music is called parandera, which means essentially, loosely translated, party animal or a lover of party. It's definitely blue collar party music. So that's a taste of this area and their traditional music. I mentioned the first recording in 1954, but the roots of this music go back way before that. Some people will hear this, if you're not familiar with it, it sounds a lot like Vaginetta, but it's different, and but there's similarities to it. It's also has some cumbia related to it, although you can certainly tell the difference between cumbia and this music. But I don't know, I just love this stuff. And some of the younger people that I know here, they hear Vaginetta or they hear this music and they kind of cringe because, well, that was granddad's music. Well, you know, that could be me, but it's music that's tied to the history, and you know how much I love history. You know? So there's stories about how the type of life that people lived. And I don't know, I just love that kind of thing. It's one of the reasons I like Armenia is it's unpretentious. It's blue collar. Where Manizala is my favorite city in the world, but it's it's a little more upscale. It's a little more foofy. It's like that's not really me, but I love the city. If the people in Armenia were the people that lived in Manizales, I would never leave there. I love that place. But the people are here, therefore I need to live here. For an antisocial person, I'm not so much antisocial. I guess my real problem is I don't like a lot of people. And I don't mean a lot as in quantity, although that too. But many people that I run into, I just don't really like them. If you put 100 people out there, I might like 5 of them. It's like, yeah, I'm a jerk and I know it. But I don't know. There's a lot of things about people that just rub me the wrong way. And the thing with Armenia is it's filled with the kind of people that I tend to like. It kind of fits it. And I have to say that for the most part, the people in this channel that come here and visit and come through also fit that bill. Now, maybe it's because people that I'm more comfortable around are gravitated to the kind of videos and things I talk about. I don't know. I do know that when I was in Ecuador, half of the people I met, I couldn't stand them. They were just fake. They reminded me of when I lived in LA or Tustin, and everybody was all concerned about, having certain clothes and the kind of car that they would drive, and, just preoccupied with putting up a front or some kind of show. And that was life there. That's just how it was. And, and I hated that. Therefore, I never really liked my time living there. But when I go to Manizales, it's not that bad, but they're much more formal. They treat you formally. The Spanish words they use are more formal. And I don't know, you come here and it's like, you're meeting your cousins or something, and the first thing they do is start busting your chops about something. They have a sense of humor. They're not easily offended. And that doesn't hold true everywhere in Colombia. People that maybe don't understand the culture of Colombia, it's easy to offend and not mean to. Well, here in Armenia, they just kind of roll with it. And I just love all of that. And therefore, this kind of music represents that to me. And so, regardless of what the song is in particular, I know what the roots of that song is about, and that's what I like. So, Bill Brown, whoa, big tip. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alfredo, in the now, salute to all. In the now. Now? But hello, Mr. Alfredo. Okay. Comments on that. What did you think? If you could just quickly throw in the chat, thumb up and thumb down, or yes or no. Did you like that kind of music? And if it was too long here, I apologize for that. I realized, but I didn't want to chop it up because it was not only the music, but it had some really good clips of the area around Salento and some farms. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, that's what I got for the news and everything that I wanted to talk about, I think. So if you have any questions for Q&A, go ahead and throw them out there. Otherwise, we got about 10 minutes left. We could always talk about the Cowboy Bills game. Man, it's hard to hold out hope on a game like that. Bills have struggled this year. So we got any Q&A? Bill Brown. Oh, I see his note. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. And Charles, thanks always. Thank you. The notes come up in a different place. I'm seeing them now. I use L for Adolfo. Oh, gotcha. Got it. L, okay. Anything? Had a couple Skype calls this week, and that was good. That was fun. Gentleman coming down the middle of next month, and he had a lot of questions considering retirement. And well, he's retired, but he doesn't think he'll be free to do anything for about 1 to 3 years. But he's been to Colombia in the past, but he was in Medellin. Now he wants to come see the real Colombia. And of course, I told him, don't forget to see Manizales. Go Cowboys. Yeah, go home with a loss. That's a go Cowboys, home with a loss. Sorry. No, I get it. Luz. Good music, nice video, and jazz too. Thanks for your I'm not following that with this coffee time. Thank you very much, Luz. And Luz, I would like to do an interview with you on the channel. Maybe we can even do it next week, but sometime soon. And shoot me off an email with how I can contact you. And my email, let me put it up on the screen, is right there. There's my email. Alfredo, in the now, what's new in Armenia? Well, I just kind of went over it. Jerry, I have a Skype call coming as well. Anytime for you, Jerry. We always have a good call. I think our calls usually last a couple hours, but it's a lot of fun. In the now, what's new in Armenia? Not quite getting it. Sometimes I'm just a little slow. Well, it's in the country music in Colombia. We appear to be slow, but we're clever. Okay, so here's my email. Any questions? Or should we wrap it up? What do you think? I gotta get rid of these things. It ties to my chat, and it just kind of bothers me when these things pop up. The new merch is here. Actually, it's all new, but it's been new for 5 years now. So it doesn't have any old stuff. You know, it's all new. No secondhand. Well, I'll give a last call. Maybe because I didn't make it official. And then if we don't get any, we'll wrap it up for the day. It's Q&A time. It's time to start asking your questions. Remember, 4 question marks first, then ask the question. Cliff, I'm so ready to get back home to Colombia. Yeah, I'm missing you, buddy. It's one of my favorite coffee meeting guys. Miss Bill and his wife, too. You know, you just get to meet a couple people that are really nice and you really get along with. And that's kind of rare for me. You know, Mike Jarvis, he's one. There's a handful. But, you know, he comes and we have a couple great meetings. And next thing you know, he's back in the United States. In the now, has rents gone down or up? I don't know what you keep saying. Oh, maybe that Alfredo in the now is your name. Ah, okay, I got it. Have rents gone down or up? Definitely up, like everywhere. Everywhere it's going up. Turtle, I'm moving soon and I need some help running video on my Samsung Galaxy. Can you provide a bit of guidance? Yes, I asked him to ask that question. Okay. This is what I wanted to say about it. I already gave you the one tip. You found the YouTube thing. And he's got a camera coming, but he won't have it in time for the move. And so he wanted to know how to make the best clips on his phone. He has a decent phone. So what you do is you set up your image stabilization in the phone. You make sure that's on. But you don't walk around with it. What you do is you take the phone, you hold it this way. Now, there is some software that you can put on your phone that you can hold it this way, but it'll give you the video this way. So that's one way to do it. But you want to make sure your video is 16:9 proportion this way. You go, if you're walking, you go to where you're walking, you stop. Try to stop maybe next to a building or a pole or something you can lean up against. Lean up against it, take the video, and pan within the shot. Give it some movement. Even if it's just one thing you're trying to show, just kind of pan across and then stop it. You'll get a video clip that's maybe 10 or 15 seconds. Done. Good enough. Go to the next thing. This if you're walking. Walk another half a block and then pan whatever you see that's interesting. And don't do it too quick. You know, move it kind of slow. If you go too quick, it'll give people a headache, you know, so kind of slowly pan it. If you're moving and you want to show the moving truck and things like that, do the same thing. Find a perspective where you're going to get your best shot. Consider the lighting. You want to have that behind you as much as possible. And then just kind of, but you try to give it a little bit of movement. Then when you get done, you put all those clips together there's free editing. Even your phone has editing. You can tie all those clips together, you know, or whatever. So that way your phone doesn't get, you know, turned on and run the thing for 20 minutes as you're walking around. Your phone won't overheat. It won't put a toll on your battery. It won't eat up a ton of memory. You only have clips of the things that are important. And that's one of the dangers of walking around is you have to either do that, or if you're walking around because you're not sure in a place you've never been or whatever, what you do is instead of cutting it out and wasting it, you can take the video speed and double or quadruple it. So it runs through the boring parts really fast, but people can still see what's going on. Then when you get to the next area where it's something of interest, then you put it back to normal speed. So those are some tips on how you can get some really good video clips if you don't have, you know, like a top camera or something like that. Cliff, missing you too. So get back here. Can an expat obtain their cedula in the States prior to moving to Colombia? No. You can get your visa, but you cannot get your cedula. You do that here. I don't know if there's advantage of getting your visa in the U.S. versus here. I mean, there might be, depending. I will tell you that I had to get an apostille, and it was way cheaper than I expected. They're accepting them electronically, so I didn't have to have an original copy. All I needed was a PDF file. So it cost me a total of $110 for them to send me back the original document with the apostille attached in the same PDF. And it had all everything needed, sent it in, not a problem. And, you know, you can do your police report the same way. It does cost more than it did 2 years ago, but it's still certainly reasonable, and it still costs way less than it cost me in Ecuador. Listing my house this week and then moving to Armenia ASAP. 2-year remodel project, and we're so ready. I still owe you dinner at La Fogata. Well, thank you. I look forward to you coming. Hopefully you can sell it. You know, the housing market, it's certainly gotten tougher, and the interest rates are definitely an issue. Taco, are you over 50? Yeah, about 20 years over. Just what happens. And up until a couple years ago, I didn't feel any of those things. I didn't get out of the chair and groan and all the things that, related. But in the last 2 years, I've been having, more age-related health things, and I don't really have the aches. I don't have arthritis, but I can tell, and I could not tell before. So I'm definitely getting up there. Some people, they start to feel their age at 50 or so. And so I consider myself pretty lucky that, it took almost 70 years before I could notice. What? Damn, you're the coolest boomer on the YouTube. Yeah, okay. What's this boomer thing? Yeah, I guess I am. Okay. What time is it? Oh, we hit our time. Well, thank you all. Thank you for the contributions. Thank you for the Christmas present, Bill. I appreciate it. Renee, Jerry, George, Charles, Juka, thank you very much. And also, I will put together for Christmas an overall thank you, because people contribute here during live coffee time. But there's a group of people that contribute through my website, and I don't want to, I appreciate them every bit as much. It's just that they don't pop up in front of me. And so when I do my coffee time next week, I will be doing a thank you so much for everything that you've done this year, and for some people, year after year. Proud not to be a millennial. I remember before the internet. Well, I certainly remember before the internet. But I was one of the first people on the internet in 1992. I was creating websites, and there was only about a dozen of us out there doing it. Got up to 4,000 clients, and then I got sick of all the interacting with people. That's probably what ruined me eventually, is in my life, all the interactions I've had to have with boneheads. Okay, that's it. We're going to end it here. Thank you all. Appreciate it. I will see you next week, and then I will wish you a Merry Christmas. Ciao.